This is David Gonzalez from We Are Change Niagara. We Are Change is breaking out, trying to investigate the lies of 9/11, stop tyranny and keep our countries free. Springing up chapters all over Ontario. We got London here, we just saw Windsor, and we're trying to keep spreading the message, resist G20. So you can follow us on Facebook, look up our website, wearechange.niagara.com, and just spread the message, spread free thinking, don't believe the lies that the government wants to throw down, and just think for yourself and be prepared. Just be prepared because the front line's everywhere for truth. It's a peaceful movement, non-violent. We just want to be able to keep our money in our pockets. Make sure our tax money is represented properly, and fight the good fight. So for all you at home, go online. There's a wealth of information everywhere. Just type in keywords. 9/11. You'll get tons of stuff, and spread it on to your loved ones. News media, baby.
My name's Fred Hahn. I'm the president of CUPE Ontario. We have people here from across the province today because we want to make sure that our voices are heard, the voices of working people and average people, those voices that aren't being heard at the summit. So we think that there's lots of issues that we need to talk about: the environment, good jobs, an economy that will really work for working people, and that's why we're here today.
I'm here to protest the Conservative government closing the 6 prison farms in Canada, and these farms are part of the food system in the local communities. They give food to the food banks, but they teach inmates how to be better people when they get back out on our streets, and the Conservative government doesn't think that's a worthwhile investment. It's a lose-lose. There's going to be far more hardened criminals rather than healed criminals, and then we're going to have to buy the food to feed them from the United States. It's a sad situation.
Time now to act against climate change, to really use the opportunity that the economy is weak and in trouble, to create green jobs, to foster alternative energy. And I think that the leaders talking there about issues, they really should address these questions, and I think right now it doesn't look like they're doing it, so that's why I'm here.
No violence! Equality for all! Where do you want it now? Where do we want it? Here! Everywhere!
Council of Canadians, we're an advocacy organization all across Canada. We've gathered here today and in a lot of other places across Canada where people are doing events to resist the G20 meetings going on in Toronto. But we've gathered here today with people from across the country, volunteer chapter activists, as well as many of our board members, many of our staff members have come together because we believe that the summits, the G8 and G20 summits that are happening right now, are fundamentally undemocratic. They're illegitimate, self-appointed bodies that get together and figure out ways that they can continue to promote the neoliberal agenda that they write their declarations about. So we're here because we're part of the people's movement that resists this, says no to this, and says that we're the people that should be putting together the solutions to help address the problems that we all face today. Well, the security measures are pretty unprecedented that have gone on in Toronto around the G8 and the G20 summits. I mean, we've seen everything from bizarre designated free speech zones to crack down on balloons. I'm actually just looking around right now and somebody's let off into the air a couple dozen balloons, which would be directly in resistance to the law against balloons or kites or poles. Some people were saying umbrellas were going to be confiscated on the way here. But one of our particular concerns was that the Integrated Security Unit had purchased a number of what are called sound cannons or LRAD sound cannons, and they put out a very high piercing sound to try to disperse crowds, so another form of violence really against the right to protest. by attacking your ears and making things very uncomfortable for people. So we said, we have a right to protest, and therefore we're going to be handing out earplugs. We've been doing it for the last 2 or 3 weeks, actually, just giving them to everyone, saying don't be afraid of coming out. It's important that we're on the streets, and there's a lot of ways that we can not let them stop us.
From Iraq to Palestine, occupation is a crime.
Well, they stone you and say that it's the end. Then they stone.
Hi, my name's Jacob Hunter, and I'm here today with the G420, which is organizing in Toronto to protest for the legalization of marijuana. Well, today we're here with the organization, the G420, and we're here to demonstrate to the G20 leaders and everyone else that marijuana is not substantially harmful, and certainly not harmful enough to justify throwing people in prison for it. We actually have been smoking marijuana from Dundas Square all the way up Yonge and Wellesley, supervised by the police the entire time. They only sent 4 officers down to our parade. It was the most minimal police presence I've seen at any protest here so far. And we decided to meet up with all these wonderful, peaceful people, the unions, the First Nations, the Ethiopians are over here, and women's rights groups. It's an amazing mix of issues, and we came to show solidarity with all of them. So, I mean, despite spending $1 trillion on this drug war, drugs are as available as ever. I mean, we were donated, I should say, a group that I'm associated with was donated vast quantities of marijuana to hand out today. And so, I mean, there's obviously enough of it in our society that this 70-year, $1 trillion drug war simply hasn't worked. And the Canadian Senate studied it in 2002 and said that the prohibition of marijuana for causing organized crime and for causing so much harm in our society is substantially more dangerous than marijuana itself. We need to get this legalized. We need to demonstrate, well, we're trying to demonstrate to the G20, if they didn't have so many fences between us and them, that this drug war is a failure. It's a failure in their countries, and it's hurting the third world a lot more than people recognize. It's the price of cocaine, supported by prohibition in the United States, that's responsible for so much violence in Mexico and Colombia and all of these countries where people are fighting and dying every day, whether it's by the hand of corrupt police or enriched organized crime, over a terrible failed policy that no one actually supports in the United States or Canada.
Tax. It's a proposal to place very minor tax limitation on international financial transactions. What they're trying to do is, in the daily transition of money across the world, is to take a very, very small percentage, which will add up to billions and billions of, I think $6 billion to help benefit those in need.